Just waiting for Alan to get online here. Another minute to go, and I guess Alan might be having some difficulty getting back on the line here again. We tried this earlier on, and everything seemed to be copacetic and working. So I hope Alan was able to get on here. It's a pretty nice presentation that he does have. As a matter of fact, it's Professor Wolkenstein, and let's hope he's able to get on here. Like I said, as we were able to connect earlier on, we had a run through. It seemed to be working fine. And hopefully he's able to come and join us here at 6 o'clock, which it is time right now. So I don't know what has transpired. I hope he can get on here. However, I don't see him as of yet. Might take a bit of a connection time here. In any event, if he doesn't come on, what I will do is I will put on the slides that he has had. And I think we will... hopefully he's able to pop on here. Oh, he's got the link to attach himself to this call. As I mentioned, that we were all went over this. We had a run through earlier on today. It seemed to work fine. So let's hope nothing got lost in the shuffle, as we might say. Now, if Alan, if you are out there on the right-hand side of the group chat, see if you can let me know if you're there or not, as well as any of the viewers that want to add comments or anything like that. Please do so on the right-hand side. I think you have it on the group chat sign there. I know there's a few of you on here. This is not intended for presentation that I'm putting on. I just want to host the call as a courtesy to Professor Wolkenstein to get the point across regarding the quality of life amongst the elderly. It's actually quite an interesting topic because in this day and age, there's an awful lot of elderlies, and there's more elderly coming along all the time. So it's an excellent topic to be discussing. Looks like we might still be having some problems with Alan getting on the line here. Hello, Alan. Are you anywhere out there? Alan. Well, I certainly hate to disappoint anybody by hang on here. I might be getting something coming through here. Nothing there. I am going to try and hang on just a minute. Hello. Hello. Well, if are you able to hear it on your end? Well, how come I've got a whole bunch of people already on here? I have I have no idea. Uh, you got it? All right. Thank you. All right. Again, sorry for the interruption there, folks. It looks like Alan is lost in the shuffle here again. A bit of embarrassment here. This is on 2 occasions in a row now. And again, Alan, if you're out there, is there a way you could let me know that you are either hearing this or seeing this, or what the issue might be? Uh, hang on. Hang on just a second, folks. Might be Alan right there. Hello? Hello? No. Hello? All right, all right, all right. I have no clue of why we're having a challenge here. I have no idea why we're having a challenge here, folks. I know that there's a bit of an issue, and I don't know why Alan is not on the line as of yet. Was that Alan there? Okay, hang on just a second, folks. I'll be right with you. Hang on. Hello. Why isn't it working? What happened? Well, no, because we're on. This is on the. Yes, it is Google.com Hangouts. As I sent you the link. What's it? What's it? I click it. Yes, that's the one. What do you mean it's not working? Should be. Did you just get one recently from me about 2 minutes, about 3 minutes ago, 5 minutes ago? Okay, there's. Hang on just a second. I'm gonna send it to you again. Yeah, I'm gonna send it to you again. Here. Hang on. Bye bye. Hello, sorry folks. Looks like there's been an issue the other end. I'll be right back with you. Don't run away. I will be back. Ding-a-ding-a-doo. Okay. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. And modern technology sometimes is a little bit of a challenge in more ways than one. Okay. Okay. All right. It looks like we might. It looks like we might be in business here, folks. Might be in business here in about 2 seconds. Sent the link to him again. I guess he just has to accept to get in there. the situation that we have here, if anybody that can get across to us, what we might have to be able to do, or what we might have to do here is, as Alan is trying to get in here and having the challenges, if we can go over to the Google Hangout, if everybody wants to sort of either email me their address or address where we can connect with you on Google Hangout, and or send me your email address on the group chat if we have that if you have that available to me, that would be awesome. If what we might want to do here then, folks, is just head her over to, I know there's some viewers that are dropping. Really sorry about that. Again, the issue that has come up here on the second occasion now. We just somehow cannot get Professor Wolkenstein to get in on this call. What I'm going to do is suggest that we go over to the Google Hangout and try that from over there. In any event, hang on just a second, I might have another message from him. And see what that happens. And okay, got it. Okay, click. I have got it. I understand. Okay, that should be no problem there. I don't see why he's having that problem. Okay. Okay. All right, folks, looks like it's another bit of a screw up here this evening. And no, hang on just a second.
You're talking about Dad, because I don't.
There we go. Are you there, Alan?
Sure, Dad, of course.
Okay.
Alan.
All right. So Peter's going to send you.
Alan,
Peter?
here I am.
Okay.
Yep, I'm here.
Peter's sending you something.
All right, Peter, I don't know what to do.
No, you're here. I see you loud and clear now. I see you loud and clear.
Okay.
I see you. We're ready to go. Let's go. Very good. Hey, right on. Let's.
Right. Go.
You betcha.
Talking to Peter.
Good.
Yep.
Okay, call me if you need anything. I'm on Gabby's
You
phone.
betcha. That's we've got it, and it's looking good. It's looking good.
Mhm.
And folks, here we are.
Can you hear him?
A little bit of trial and error, but we finally got going here.
Thank you.
Just a real quick, I know that we're a few minutes behind time. I want to thank you very much for your patience, folks. We are finally here. And what I'd like to do is just sort of get really quickly, is anybody that wants to add a comment or anything, please do so. There's an opportunity for you to ask questions at the end of the presentation. And what we'd like you to think about is there might be issues that come up here during the presentation that you might have not thought of before. And please forward those questions to us if you can. You can either pass them on to us at peterkahausen@hotmail.com. That's PeterKauhausen @hotmail.com, and or directly to Professor Wolkenstein, and I'll give you that email address in a second. Just a couple of touch-ups is, yeah, we apologize for being late. Thank you very much for being on the call, and just to let you know that Professor Wolkenstein and I have never met personally. However, Professor Wolkenstein commented on a post that I had put up on LinkedIn, and thus we got into communication. We've been in dialogue over the telephone. We've been in dialogue over the internet as well as through Skype. The reason Professor Wolkenstein and I got together was a simple fact is that I have an aging mother, and aging aging myself, being well over 60 years old, that I found that the conversations between my mother and myself were a little bit challenging at times. And Professor Wolkenstein has come in and given some ideas and so on and so forth. So it's a great pleasure of mine for me to introduce you to Professor Wolkenstein, who is a 30-year veteran and a graduate medical education. He's trained in sociology and psychiatric social work. He's a retired clinical professor at the University of Wisconsin School of Medicine and Public Health. Professor Wolkenstein has been teaching, researching, and educating physicians, medical students, and allied health professionals for most of his career. He also has a parallel private practice in physiotherapy for couples in relationship stress and families struggling with significant life stressors, such as serious illness and psychological challenges of coping with aging. So it gives me great pleasure at this time to introduce you to Professor Wolkenstein.
Well, thank you, Peter. It's amazing that we finally got this to connect. Can you put up the first slide?
There it is.
Good, because I don't see it.
Okay, that's a picture of you. It's a picture of you, and I think you said that's by the brewery.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't see those, Peter.
Okay.
Can you
All
split
right.
the screen?
I've split the screen. Yes, I have. Oh, hang on just a second here. Hang on. There you go.
There we go.
There you go. Thank you. Sorry.
Okay, so let's pick up that first picture was taken at the Jacuzzi Winery. That's what I sort of look like. You want to go to the next one? That's what our son Evan thinks his father looks like. Although I insist that I have much more hair than that. And what I'm doing is pointing to Matthew Evan Wolkenstein's Excellent Quality of Life Index, and we'll be talking about that shortly. Want to go to the next one? Yeah, this is a short merit, a short blessing that I use when I do teaching, and it has a purpose to it beyond being a merit of loving kindness. I'm going to read it first, and then I'm going to ask Peter to lead the group in the second reading. And while you are listening to me and then doing the second reading with Peter, I want you to be thinking about somebody or something that needs your attention right now. Some person, some event, some experience that needs your attention, and that when the merit is done, I want us all to tap quietly on the table or the desk that you're sitting at very quietly, and then I'll explain why I asked you to tap twice. All right, here we go. May all beings be healed. May all beings be at peace. May all beings be free from suffering. Right, Peter?
May all beings be healed. May all beings be at peace. May all beings be free from suffering.
All right, thank you. The reason I asked that we tap on the table or the desk twice, first one is that it tells us at the various levels that the blessing is over. But even more importantly, I think it's valuable because it teaches us, whether we are in a small or a large group, that each of us has somebody or something that needs our attention, and that we are all beings together. All right, Peter, thank you. Want to move it up? Okay, images. Images are important. Images that gain access to our hearts. And it's the privilege of all givers of care, whether we are professionals, educating professionals about giving care, whether we are lay people who give care. We are all cast in the light of these same images and find ourselves gaining access to the innermost secrets of the human heart. And this is important because we find that many givers of care are not actually related to the people that they're caring for. And also some research about givers of care frequently travel long distances to provide care. So givers of care cut across all ethnic and cultural boundaries and are very, very important. And they indeed explore these aspects of people's lives, emotions, and intimate relationships. I think you'll see by this time that when I do a presentation with PowerPoints, I try to put on the whole concept so that people who are in an audience with me don't have to take notes, but can take what they want and look at the rest of it later. Okay, Peter, want to move it up? We are all human beings, born trying to survive, learning to love, and preparing to live and die with some dignity, no more and no less. And for professional caregivers, for individuals who care for others, that each of us has hurt and pain, and it's important to remember that we're always cut from the same cloth, and we share the wisdom and knowledge of being human. These are the words of Wayne Muller, who's written some excellent books, this one in particular called Legacy of the Heart. I recommend his books very much, both for lay caregivers and for professionals and for those who are educating professionals. All right, Peter. This is an important slide because it talks about the numbers of Americans who will be over the age of 65 by the year 2050. The important thing to recall is that by the time we reach 65, I think the percentage is greater, but at least 30% of us have 3 or more chronic illnesses. Now, I define healthy elderly as people that may in fact have chronic illnesses, but with good care, they are able to have a decent quality of life. So we do live longer, but will our longevity be good years for those of us and for the people we care for? Peter, you want to come up with that statistic? I think it's important.
Yeah, thanks, Professor Wolkenstein. The statistic that was just brought to my attention a little while ago was that next year, the year 2015, there are going to be more than 10,000 people turning the age of 65 per day. That's 10,000 per day turning the age of 65. So that's astounding.
So we look at that number Peter described and the fact that we live longer and our country is in fact graying, and it is a responsibility for those of us who provide care to understand that longevity is not equal always to good years. Okay, Peter, want to move it up? Viktor Frankl is a powerful figure, has influenced many of the people that I work with and for. And it's about meaning, purpose, and intention of life. And those of us who do this kind of work, knowing the meaning and purpose of our work is a key to the meaning and purpose of our lives, and the exact opposite is true, that if we know the meaning and purpose of our lives, it's a key to the purpose of our work. Frankl talked about the intention and meaning and purpose of elderly people, that they should have these 3 qualities until their very last breath, and unfortunately that doesn't always happen. So Peter, let's move on and we'll take the next one. There is a lost world that our seniors have come from. It's a lost world of our elderly. It's a lost world of our seniors. It is a world in which attitudes, values, and beliefs are created and finalized from their real life experiences. This lost world is, in fact, gone. Now, a younger and healthier person, especially those who give caregiving work, really have a limited knowledge and experience in understanding this lost world. And for them to be good givers of care, they have to understand these lost world values and attitudes because they direct how elderly people seek and adapt to their current life experiences. So without an understanding of this lost world, quality of life is diminished because those who care for us do not understand the world in which we've come from. Right, Peter? So we need an experiential bridge. Sometimes, but not always, it occurs through active listening. Feedback, listening, physically leaning into a conversation, trying to assume what we call a liminal or non-judgmental physical posture. And I believe that our clients and families can tell when we are not doing this. Do they tell us? How do they tell us, and what is that like for us? Frequently is difficult to hear, but I think it's extremely important. So there is a lost world. It's our values and attitudes that are important to us. They help us adapt and cope to a world that has changed dramatically. And for the young people that are caring for us, whoops, what happened? For the young people that are caring for us, they have to get into that lost world. Okay, Peter. Deeply aged is a term that I first appreciated from psychologist John O'Donnell in the greater Milwaukee area. And that's a picture of my hat.
Yeah, it's people are saying that they see you, but they can't see the slides, so I'm trying to get you out of there.
Okay, I'd like to be out of this.
You would, wouldn't you? Okay, well, I'm going to slide you back in the...
Well, I hope that people can see that.
Yeah, I hope so too.
So, deeply aged people are these people who appear older than their actual years. They appear more infirm. They really feel, experience, and express their years and are much more inwardly focused. And what I'm talking about here is that Thoreau said that we must keep the circle of life open. It is a sin to close that, but I'm not in the sin business. But I think that elders who remain focused inwardly rather than outwardly are going to have a much more diminished quality of life. So I'm continuing to research the deeply aged. I think that this number will increase, unfortunately, and there are the ways to deal with that. All right, Peter. So, which could be the greatest harm to preserving the self? Losing an important other, partner. We know that losing a child. The Chinese say that when black goes before gray, people never get over that. Loss of 2 or more ADLs, activities of daily living. Sometimes bringing in someone to help can actually be a potential harm to preserving the self. And we spent a lot of time talking with elder parents and their adult children about selling a home and relocating, and we'll talk about that at a later point. As you can see, that when we're working in groups, I break them down, ask them to reflect about these, jot their answers, and share with the persons near them. Experiential learning, much of that comes from the work of Matthew Evan Wolkenstein as an experiential educator, is really about sharing and experiencing that sharing with each other. Okay, Peter. We're going to talk about family life cycle here because family life cycle and the sandwich generation have direct impacts on quality of life and have significant impacts in many ways on important conversations that adult children have with their aging parents. We think that there's at least 5 stages in the family life cycle, and I'll focus only on stage 3 that we call the transitional years. Now, this original work is work that I did with Dr. Steve Lawrence, who unfortunately passed away, and Dr. Dennis Butler. two very good friends of mine from some years back, and wanted to help primary care residents understand the stages that a family goes through. So the one we're going to focus on for just a minute is called Stage 3, the transitional years. Every stage has tasks, and each task has certain skills required of them. And Stage 3 is going to be about launching children, hopefully launching instead of expelling, reversing parental roles. In other words, a couple go from partners to parents, and then back again to a partner role when these children are launched. Frequent career change issues come up at this time, and there may be body images and changes that people get concerned about. The sandwich generation, I want to talk for just a second about that. Sandwich generation is going to be the adult children who have aging parents who are more dependent, and children of their own that are becoming more independent. And from the folks that I've worked with over the years, it seems that their children and their aging parents, neither group seems to think they know very much. In fact, many of these people, excuse me, come into therapy because they've struggled so hard with their own parents. I'm looking for my glass of water. I don't know where it is. Well, here it is. So they have such struggles with their aging parents and with their own children. They come and talk to a therapist. Now I've lost it completely. That's good. Oh, there we go again. Peter, you with me?
Yeah, we're fine. We can hear everything you're going on. But I think what, if you bear with me just for a second, I think that they're getting some calls here that you are not, they see you, but not the slides. So I wonder if you can click off on your picture on the bottom right-hand corner there. I wonder if that'll help.
My head?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. There you go. All right, all right, let's see, carry on that one.
Unfortunately, now I can't see the slides.
Ah. Okay, you just have to click her back on then. What, if you can carry on here, if you can just carry on here, because you got about 7-8 minutes left for the 25-minute call. What we might want to do here, if you're open to that, is the people that didn't have an opportunity to see the slides, would you be open to having them see those by sending it out to them?
Yes, that, you know, that's not going to be a problem as long as we, all right, Peter, as long as we have somewhere into the 25-minute time period. Let me suggest that we've put together some DVDs on these three main topics: quality of life, family life cycle, and having difficult conversations between adult children and their aging parents. And for those people that are interested in that, they can look up www.transitionhope.com. That's www.transitionhope.com, and they can take a look at those available DVDs. Okay, where do we go from here?
You are on the slide 14, concluding on slide 14.
Yeah, unfortunately, I can't see it.
Okay, what? Let's see here. Okay, click yourself on there again. Click on your picture again. There you go. Okay. All right, can you see it now?
Okay.
Yep.
All right, let's cover this. The original research we did had quality of life having three major components. I found there to be an inner world, an outer world, and coping with loss. And you can see that Dennis Boughton and myself did the writing on this, although Steve Lawrence was on an original data collection. The inner world is a world of thoughts and ideas and beliefs and attitudes and perceptions of how the world was and is and should be. And frequently that gets interrupted by illness or frailty or loss of important people. Second one is that there's an outer world of people, places, and events, and that can get bypassed in many ways by an inability to move around and be in contact with others. Unfortunately, the one that is the most painful for many people is coping with loss. We have increasing losses with decreasing resources, especially functional, emotional, and cognitive abilities, and many times these losses occur without any respite in between. So they could be loss after loss with no time to balance and focus on what's most important. So out of that comes Matthew's work. You want to get to the next one? And Matthew Evan Wolkenstein put together what he called the Quality of Life Wheel. There are 8 major components, and I want to go through them with you because they're the key. Want to go back, Pete? Here we go. Whoop. Let's go back again. The 4 M's are mastery. Whoop.
There you go.
There you go. Mastery, mystery, memory, and meaning. Mastery is the ability to have some sense of mastery over our world. Mystery is something that older people struggle with in terms, what does our life mean? Are we connected to higher power? Issues of mystery. Memory fills in the gap of the losses that we're experiencing, and we know that for older people, memory loss, Alzheimer's, etc., is a greater concern to them than heart disease and cancer. So memory loss is extremely important. And meaning is the meaning and implication that we put on life itself, knowing that as we age we have less time ahead than we normally have behind, and the struggle for meaning is one that will go on hopefully all the days of our life. Under creativity, I think Matthew was talking a lot about the ability to use our right brain to be creative thinkers, to think out of the box, to use our greatest, deepest wisdom to create ideas and concepts that are important to us and those around us. Control is the ability, in many ways like mastery, to have some sense of control over our environment. And continuity is what was and what is and what will be. And continuity frequently takes a tremendous blow when people are forced to change their residence against their wish. And connection, obviously, is the ability to stay connected to important people in their life. So those are the 4 M's and the 4 C's. We use these for older people, elders, to self-assess because we know that the meaning, that the key to success is to self-assess. We know that the ability of elders to look at these 8 and assess where they are and how they're doing with it, and also for those who care for elders to see where they can fit into that. We know that physicians, in particular, are very poor at defining quality of life for their patients. They underestimate it. They believe that we don't think about our quality of life, and they would be deeply surprised to know that we think about our quality of life. We try to enhance our quality of life, and this ability to look at it through the 4 M's and the 4 C's is a very creative experience in Matthew Evan Wolkenstein's ability to help elders understand their quality of life. Let's skip that next one and go to the one after that. All right, I want to end on this one. I think that the self struggles to find balance in our lives. the self struggles to focus on what is most important, and the self struggles to make sense out of our experiences. So I'm going to stop at this point and let Peter pick it up, okay, if there are questions and comments. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Wolkenstein. That was an awesome presentation. Thank you very much. I want to check out right here, right now, going back over here, and let's go back to, let me see if there's any questions there. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Here we go. Okay, sorry, Michelle. She wasn't able to see the slides. I can't post comments. I'm getting a message not seeing the slides. Michelle, sorry to hear that. As a matter of fact, Michelle is from California, and unfortunately she's not able to see the slides, so I don't know what transpired there, Professor Wolkenstein. But if Michelle wants to continue or pass on a question or so, by all means, you can do that by, again, this direct email address. And or what I like to do at this particular time, too, is give you Professor Wolkenstein's email address for anybody that wants to contact Professor Wolkenstein directly. It is Alan, that's A-L-A-N, dot, that's the period, it's not D-O-T, Alan, A-L-A-N, period, Wolkenstein, W-O-L-K-E-N-S-T-E-I-N, at gmail.com. And I'll repeat that again. It's Alan, A-L-A-N, period, W-O-L-K-E-N-S-T-I-N.
No, E-I.
S-T-E-I-N at gmail.com. So feel free to contact Professor Wolkenstein directly at that email address, and or myself as well too. For those individuals, we want to thank you very much for attending our presentation this evening, and we would like to continue to have one of these about once a month. What would be beneficial to Professor Wolkenstein and myself would be your feedback. What you saw could be improved on, or what would you like to hear more of, and anything else that might be on your mind for us to carry forward for you folks. Again, you can also contact me directly at peterkahausen at hotmail.com. That's Peterkahausen at hotmail.com. Again, let me see here. Is there anybody else that has come forward here? Ding, 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 ding. And there's nobody on the chat right there. All right. Well, we want to thank you very much, folks, for attending our event this evening here. Professor Wolkenstein, do you have any concluding comments you want to make before we call it an evening?
No, I think that's about it. I appreciate getting part of everybody's busy life for a little while, and that we realize that quality of life is something that older people think about, it's important to them, and that there are many things we can do to enhance that with and for them. Further talks might be on difficult conversations and or family life cycle issues. Okay, thanks, Pete.
All right. Thank you very much, folks. We appreciate your attendance, and please let us know, give us some feedback, what you thought of this presentation this evening, and we'll go from there. Take care. Have a good evening now. Bye-bye now.
Bye.